Welcome to the King County Video Voters Guide, your chance to hear directly from the candidates and ballot measure participants in the November general election. The county will send out ballots on October 19th, and ballot drop boxes will open on October 20th. Or you can drop your voted ballot in the mail. No stamp required. In this edition, candidates for the office of King County Prosecuting Attorney and proponents and opponents for the two county-wide ballot measures have been invited to participate. The statements are up to 2 minutes long and unedited. The speakers will appear on your screen in the same order as on the ballot. King County Prosecuting Attorney. The King County Prosecuting Attorney is the legal advisor and advocate for all county elected and appointed officials, department heads, and agency managers in actions relating to King County. In addition, the prosecuting attorney represents the state and the county in criminal matters and prosecutes felonies and certain misdemeanors in King County. The prosecuting attorney is elected to a 4-year term, and the position is nonpartisan. All voters within King County are eligible to vote in this race.
Hello, my name is Jim Farrell, candidate for King County Prosecutor. The increase in crime throughout our county is getting harder to ignore. As mayor of Federal Way, a city of 100,000 residents, I see firsthand how the policies and actions of the prosecutor have impacted our quality of life throughout this entire region. Change must come to the prosecutor's office if we want all of our communities to be safe for each of us. And that begins with experience, effective leadership at the helm. I'm running for King County Prosecutor to return justice and accountability to this office. I've been in more trials and successfully prosecuted more cases than anyone in the race. In fact, I'm the only candidate to have ever tried a criminal case. I will bring nearly 2 decades of trial experience to this office. As deputy and senior prosecutor, I helped create and was the first leader of the Domestic Violence Court Unit. Under the current leadership of the prosecutor's office, there's a backlog of nearly 5,000 felony cases, including nearly 500 sexual assaults and 180 murders. This is unacceptable to victims and survivors of these serious crimes. Let me be clear. I believe in second chances, but not revolving doors where the same people commit the same crimes. Diversion programs can help repair harm in communities, but with no clear mechanisms to ensure compliance with these taxpayer-funded programs and serious violent cases qualifying for diversion, they do not allow for people to learn from their mistakes. With my extensive experience as a prosecutor and as a mayor, I will utilize diversion programs to rehabilitate those who commit crime and return people to healthy and productive lives. I'm endorsed by Democrats including U.S. Congressman Adam Smith, State Senator Mark Mullet, State Representative Amy Wallen, 15 current mayors across King County, labor unions like LIUNA Local 242, ATU 587, Seattle Building Trades, Firefighters Local 2024, and the police guilds of Seattle, King County, Bellevue, Kent, Federal Way, and Des Moines. I ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
I'm Lisa Mannion, a career prosecutor who has served for the past 15 years as Chief of Staff of the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. With your vote, I will bring unmatched experience and hands-on leadership. I have built and implemented effective crime reduction strategies, reformed juvenile justice, and enhanced victim services. I will focus on the public safety issues facing our county and communities with needed urgency to deliver criminal accountability, racial equity, and restorative justice. Under my leadership, 600 professionals in the prosecutor's office charge violent crimes, sexual assault, and property crimes every day, without exception, even when the pandemic closed courts. At a time of legal attacks on reproductive rights and increased hate crimes, I will be the first woman and the first person of color to serve as your prosecutor. I am the only candidate for this office who has developed criminal justice policies and led teams of prosecutors. I have built trusted partnerships with law enforcement, public defenders, business leaders, and advocates for justice and equity. I have increased support for victims of domestic violence and assault and supported alternative sentencing models that have helped veterans, youth, and people with behavioral health and addiction crises repay their debts while rebuilding their lives. I earned the Alliance for Gun Responsibility's sole endorsement because of my commitment to reducing gun violence. I have enacted our state's strongest extreme risk protection order policies and provided law enforcement tools to track down weapons used in crime. I am the only candidate to have earned the support of women's groups, Democratic organizations and legislators, labor unions, as well as retiring prosecutor Dan Satterberg, former Governor Gary Locke, Executive Dow Constantine, Seattle Mayor Bruce Farrell, Bellevue Mayor Lynn Robinson, and elected and community leaders from across our region. I ask for your vote. Thank you.
King County Charter Amendment Number 1. Even-numbered election years for certain county offices. Currently, elections for King County Assessor, council members, Elections Director, and Executive are held in odd-numbered years. If Charter Amendment Number 1 is approved, elections for these offices would move to even-numbered years. Candidates running for these offices in 2023 and 2025 would be elected to 3-year terms. Elections for 4-year terms would resume in 2026 and 2028.
Hi, I'm King County Councilmember Girmay Zahalai. This fall, voters in King County have an opportunity to make future county elections simpler and far more inclusive by voting yes on King County Charter Amendment 1. If approved, Charter Amendment 1 would move elections for King County public officials from odd years to even years. In other words, the positions of executive, assessor, elections director, and county council would move from odd years like 2019 to even years like 2020, which is when we already elect our prosecuting attorney and our Superior Court judges. Passage of Charter Amendment 1 will mean that starting in 2026, we'll elect all our important county officials in years which see much, much higher voter turnout. This will result in many more voters selecting our future leaders. Data indicates up to twice as many voters would turn out on even-year elections. Research also indicates that if we adopt this amendment, we'll have more diverse participation, especially from young voters, working-class voters, voters of color, and renters. And because the media's political coverage and community civic awareness are much stronger in even years, this amendment will let future county candidates run when more people are paying attention, which will be good for their campaigns and for democracy. I hope you'll join me, the League of Women Voters, Washington Bus, the Northwest Progressive Institute, Sightline, the Washington Community Alliance, and a growing coalition of advocates in voting yes on King County Charter Amendment 1 by Tuesday, November 8th at 8 p.m. To learn more, please visit yeskingcharter1.org. That's yeskingcharter1.org. Thank you for being a voter.
King County Proposition Number 1. Conservation Futures Levy. King County's Conservation Futures Program was initiated in 1982 to protect valuable open space lands in the county. If approved, Proposition Number 1 would provide additional funding for acquisition and preservation of urban green spaces, natural areas, wildlife and salmon habitat, trails, river corridors, farm and agricultural lands, and forests within King County. The Conservation Futures Advisory Committee would continue to advise the county executive and county council on acquisition and funding recommendations. If approved, the proposition would authorize restoration of the county's Conservation Futures property tax levy from a current rate of approximately 3.12 cents to a rate of 6.25 cents per $1,000 of assessed valuation in 2023. The dollar amount of the levy in 2023 would be used to calculate the maximum allowable levies in future years. Qualifying seniors, veterans, and persons with disabilities would be exempt from this levy.
The lands and waterways that define our region protect air and water quality and contribute to a resilient future as we experience climate change. Proposition 1 restores voter-approved funding to protect these last best places throughout King County. To date, the Conservation Futures Program has safeguarded over 100,000 acres of land, including Cougar Mountain, Duwamish Waterway Park, and the East Trail, through recommendations made by an independent advisory committee. With your vote, we can accelerate forest habitat and farmland preservation while supporting communities and regions most at risk from climate change. most in need of cooling, and improving access for historically marginalized communities. That's in addition to the health benefits open spaces offer: stress reduction, recreational opportunities, improved quality of life. Let's ensure this legacy for future generations. Restoring this important fund will cost the average homeowner less than $2 per month, with relief available to qualified low-income seniors and other households. Please join the Nature Conservancy, Mountains to Sound Greenway, Forterra, Trust for Public Land, the Wilderness Society, Vashon Maury Land Trust, Seattle Parks Foundation, REI, and elected and community leaders across our county in support of Proposition 1. Thank you.
King County and other governments already control or own 61% of the land in King County. That's right, government already owns or controls almost 2/3 of the land, yet they want even more. The county already has a Conservation Futures Fund that collected almost $62 million over the last 3 years. Never satisfied, they now want you to pay even more and take on more maintenance costs. Existing land use laws already severely limit rural growth. Not long ago, King County announced they didn't have resources to empty trash in the parks, yet they want even more land they admit they cannot maintain. Here's an example of what King County does with conservation land. In 2013, they purchased property in Falls City for $4.5 million with the intent of leasing it out to economically and environmentally sustainable agriculture. 2 years later, in 2015, King County sold the property for $720,000. Taxpayers lost an astounding $4 million, or 84% in 2 years. What a disgrace! More open space also means fewer acres will be taxed, resulting in higher property tax for existing property owners. Less private property also results in less housing. There needs to be a balance of land uses. Open space is important, but enough is enough. At 61% and growing, King County passed balance a long time ago. King County already controls way too much land, has proven it cannot manage what it already owns, and resold land it purchased 2 years prior at an 84% loss. Stop the land grab now. Instead, let's work for balance and open space for housing as the Growth Management Act directs.
You've just seen all the video statements submitted by countywide candidates and ballot measures on the King County portion of the ballot. This program is a collaboration of the Seattle Ethics and Elections Commission, the Seattle Channel, and King County TV. Ballots will be sent to all registered voters. Look for your ballot in the mail after October 19th and vote and return it by Tuesday, November 8th. Ballots can be returned via U.S. mail or at a King County election secured ballot drop box located in King County. If mailed, a stamp is not required, but ballots must be postmarked by November 8th. You can track the progress of your ballot online and find the location of drop boxes by visiting King County Elections at kingcounty.gov/elections. Thank you for joining us. We'd like to hear from you about the Video Voter's Guide. To comment on this guide, please call 206-684-8500.